Didi, he's been there 2 years. Liverpool fans, I think, are particularly knowledgeable. They're not like Manchester United fans, for example, a lot of whom are part of a cult and travel from all over the world just to be in Old Trafford. But Liverpool fans know the difference between good and bad players. I thought he was the saviour when he came. I know Kenny Dalglish is a huge supporter of his. I don't know your own position, but now, after that performance at Wembley last week, I just thought, this guy's going nowhere.
Yeah, and I think what you want to see as a fan or as a chairman or as a board, I think you want to see a team that's moving forward. You want to see improvement. You want to see things getting better. You want to see, what the manager is doing. And I struggle to see it. They probably played against the most improved team in the last 3 years in Spurs. If you watch Spurs now, I think they've got half or 60% the wage bill of Liverpool. This is a proper football team. You see what they do. They've got a great defence. They're stubborn. They're good in midfield. They're aggressive. They can play. And up front, they've got in Eriksen, Ali, and Kane. They've got three top-class players who are all match winners in their own right. You go to Liverpool. Scoring 4, conceding 3, conceding 5. It's got nothing to do with football. You need a defensive base, and you can't outscore teams in the Premier League. I think in the history of football, there was probably a Barcelona side a few years ago who could do this, and maybe one 20, 30 years ago. But in the Premier League, you can't outscore teams, and I think this is where the fans are now, where they always said with this enthusiastic and with this, with this contagious style of managing on the touchline, he wears his heart on the sleeve. The fans love that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to substance. It comes down to results. And I think a lot of his antics on the touchline papered over some of the cracks within the team. And people said, we'll be okay because the guy's passionate. We'll be fine. He'll sort us out. He cares. Looking at what's going on now, where's the improvement going to come from? The first time in 2 years, he called his team out so that he may bench one or two players tomorrow when they play Huddersfield. But there's hardly any options. If you look at a bench, if you look at what's behind, who can you bring in to improve the defence? He changes the keepers around. No keeper is a number one there, or Mignolet is the number one, but nobody keeps goal as a number one. So he plays all three keepers in various cup competitions. I think in this situation now you want stability. Whether it's Mignolet carries, you stick with them. But I agree with you. They lack a keeper. They lack the centre half, and they also lack, I think, what's been not been mentioned enough, they lack a holding midfielder. I think that's a position they haven't had for a number of years. Luke has left. He wasn't the same player in his last couple of years, but I think he did a good job for a number of years. I think they lack a holding midfielder like Matic does at United now, the job he does. Can I see improvement short term? Not really. I always think they will win games because they're just too good going forward. But I don't think they are good defensively enough to consistently win football games. And that's what Liverpool is all about. That'll be the question over the next few weeks and months because the only thing they play for now is the FA Cup. I struggle to see them win the Champions League. League Cup, they're out. The league is gone. So they basically play in October for the FA Cup. And that's, by Liverpool standards, clearly not good enough.